Okay, so I'm back with my sister Deborah Ellinger, and we are now going to analyze and look at and dissect some particular labels, dog food labels. You're up. Go.
Okay, well, so earlier we were talking about what's in the ingredient and look at the first 5 ingredients and look for trying to have meat as your first 2 or 3.
Okay.
Right, and maybe, if necessary, a meat meal or maybe even a meat byproduct meal, depending on your philosophy. But you probably should have that before you have all the grains.
And if you had your druthers on this, you'd like to see deboned product first.
Probably, yeah.
And then come in with...
But it's philosophical.
Oh, yeah,
you can
okay,
get a
enough.
balanced diet with meat meals. It just means that you are feeding them a lot of bone and, you know, the carcass all ground up is basically what the meal is. And
right.
again, I'm going to focus on chicken
Okay,
because it's
good.
easier.
And then we'll talk maybe a little bit more about other things like fish-based and things like that. But anyway, here we go.
Sure.
Right.
So, yeah, but today we'll just look at poultry.
Okay.
So one of the things that a manufacturer will do is actually break up all the ingredients. Let's say rice. You could do brewer's rice, and then you could do another kind of rice, and then a third kind of rice. And if you do that, your percentage is smaller for each one, so it moves it further down the label.
Right, so this is something I hadn't realized. So the point we're trying to get across here is, if they had just said just rice, it might have been number 2 on the label.
Or even number 1.
Or even number 1 on the
because
label.
if rice is number 3, 4, and 6, and you add them all together, and it was all one type of rice, it would have gone right
3
to the
times
top.
bigger.
Yeah.
Right, so you can play,
playing around.
so there can be some mucking around here.
Right.
That is quite within the rules of the regulations that, who does this? Is it the FDA?
AFCO.
AFCO.
It's called the
American
American
Food...
Association of Food Control Officers.
There you go,
AFCO.
right.
Yeah,
AFCO.
go to aafco.com and you'll see,
interesting.
or .org or whatever.
So
it is.
they've got to apply by these rules, and so of course, like anything, you can bend the thing a little bit, and not necessarily in a dishonest way, just trying to make their product look better than if it was put in a different way.
So anyway, back to Roy.
Yep.
Right? If you need a budget diet, that's where you go. Right? It's cheap. It's cheap.
Yep.
But it is, ground corn, and then it's meat and bone meal, and then it's soybean meal. So it's going from corn to meat to soybean. And soybean is it's a decent source of protein.
Okay.
But it's cheap.
Okay.
Right? And then you go from there to poultry byproduct meal.
Yes.
So that is kind of all the ground
Whatever
everything else.
Whatever they couldn't have left was they they ground it up.
And then they've got animal fat, and then you've got wheat meal.
What do you think about animal fat? What's the deal with having fat in there?
Well, you need fat, and it's flavorful. So actually, your dog might like Roy. By the way, often these cheaper ingredients are tastier.
Yes.
Which is interesting, right? More fat. Fat
Yes.
is tasty.
Well, now, wasn't there some things that you were doing where you take the fat out, you'd spray the fat on the outside of the
You can
food?
do this to make it tastier.
So it makes it tasty without
the
mucking
inner bit is all the healthy stuff, and the outer side has, let's say, a fat sprayed on the outside to make it taste good.
Yes,
And then you can still manage the amount of fat and get a decent balance.
It's like feeding me a meat product where it's a thin layer of meat filled up with kale on the inside. Or fool me into eating my kale.
We've tried that. It doesn't
work for me.
He gets those little green pieces.
That's
in
right.
His teeth when he does that. Yeah.
Right.
All right. So that was Roy.
So Old Roy, by the way, we looked at Walmart. I think it was like $8, $7.88 for a 15-pound bag.
Something like that, yeah.
Yep, okay,
Yeah.
good.
All right.
All right.
Let's have a look at another one.
So that gives you a reference point in terms of price. $8, 15-pound bag.
Let's go to the other extreme, okay?
Okay.
Let's take, I was just looking at Origin, which is a
Never even heard of it.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
it's an expensive brand. I don't know what the price is. We'll look at it in a minute. But again, this, let me see if I can find something to show you. All right, well, here's the ingredients of it. I'll show you this in a minute. Origin, by the way, is Origen. I don't know if you can see
That's
that.
a weird spelling.
Yeah.
Why do people do that crap?
Because they couldn't get.
Yes, I know, but it's so confusing, isn't it? It's like, I don't get it when people name products with bad
Origin
spelling.
Swear by it, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let me just read you this ingredient list.
okay.
Chicken,
We like that.
turkey,
We like that.
flounder,
We like that.
whole mackerel,
We like that.
chicken liver,
Oh, yeah.
turkey giblets,
Yeah.
right? Whole herring,
Yes.
eggs,
Yes.
dehydrated chicken,
Yes.
dehydrated turkey, dehydrated chicken liver. So this is interesting, right? They've done all the fresh stuff first to get it up there because it's got high water content.
Yep.
Get that on the list, and then they've got the stuff they really need. But it is good stuff.
Yes.
Even the dehydrated
We've not even
chicken
got to a
turkey,
vegetable
right?
yet, have we?
No.
No, okay.
And then where the first grain type thing is red lentils, which is quite a long way down the list, and then pinto beans, and then some chicken fat and more lentils.
So looking at this here, I can see very expensive ingredients.
Right.
But it looks like it's hugely high in protein. Now you've got the protein analysis
that's a
over
high
there,
protein
and
diet.
it says 38%.
Yeah.
Is that more than? And it's 80% fat and.
Look, I don't want to say what the protein number should be, because the amount that you're going to have for protein, fat, and carbohydrates, actually, and fiber as well, varies an awful lot by the age of the dog, the health of the dog, the weight of the dog, the size of the dog. I mean, there's lots of
exercise
things that go
level of the
into
dog.
it, right? So rather than go into, and we can have another conversation about that.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
So that's kind of a high-end diet. That's a lot of stuff that we would all eat. And then there's stuff that's more in the middle. So I'm going to pick another one. Why don't I talk about wellness?
Can you tell us the price on that one there? What are there? Can you see that? Let's see how much that is. Here we go. Origin.
55
for a 13-pound bag.
$56 for a 13-pound bag versus $7. It's 10 times as much
for a 15-pound bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is we're looking at $5 a pound.
Right.
Versus,
and this, by the way,
$2 a
this
pound.
was their grain-free version.
Yes. And they have other things there, well, that's a 16-ounce bag for $37.
Yeah, well, that's a freeze-dried one.
Yeah, right,
It's
gotcha.
always a top-up.
So we're 3-4 times more expensive. I mean,
10 times.
Oh, excuse me, 10 times more expensive. So it's a huge difference. I mean, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't. We're not basing any of this on price. We're just bringing that up because it's relevant to. Obviously, you've got to budget these things somewhere or other.
Right.
Okay. All right. So now we're taking
let's
what?
Let's talk about wellness.
Your product. Well, used to be.
Mine anymore,
No,
but
not
it was
yours.
around when we created it. It's called
Yeah.
Wellness Core, and it's another grain-free diet. But it's what I would say is more middle of the road.
Okay.
It's still not cheap. I'm just looking at this.
How much
it's
is
like
that?
$42.
For a 50-pound bag, 15-pound.
12 pounder.
So it's 30%, 20% less than the Origin. Okay.
Right.
But it's a lot more than.
Right.
Okay. Go ahead.
And then you can. I'll just put that there briefly.
So you can go look at this.
Yep. So that one. Oops. And now I've lost it. I was trying to read it myself. Where did it go? I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, that's all right.
I must have clicked on something at the wrong
talk
moment.
about things while this is going on, so that.
See if he can talk about the upcoming wedding, maybe.
That's right.
No,
We've got a wedding Friday.
I've got it.
It's a
here.
madhouse here at the moment. Everybody's coming from various parts of the world to see Chanel get married to Jake. Super nice guy. So maybe we'll put a snippet of that up on one of our YouTube videos that nobody will want to watch.
This will work. We'll see if we can get this.
Okay.
Just give me a minute.
Here we go. We're coming back to it there.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to find the ingredient thing. Yeah, no, it's there, but it's not showing up.
There it is.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right, so I'm just going to read it to you. So, deboned turkey, thumbs up.
That's as good as you can get.
Right. Turkey meal. So that's turkey meal, not turkey byproduct meal.
And the reason they did that, of course, if they bust it all together, it would all become up as turkey meal. If they bust the whole thing up, and it wouldn't put okay.
And then they've got chicken meal. So they've got turkey and
two
turkeys and
three
then
chicken products right off the bat.
Right.
Yes.
And then the first one of the kind of high protein grain-like, except this is a grain-free food, is peas.
What do we think about peas?
I like peas.
I like peas personally. They're great. They're good for dogs too.
Yep,
okay.
It's good for peas. And then they've got dried ground potatoes, which is interesting that they did dried ground potatoes rather than fresh potatoes, because if they'd done fresh potatoes, it would have moved up the ingredient list.
Which they don't want.
Which they don't want, right?
Right.
And
so they got the water out of it. They put the water back in straight water. Right.
You have to understand this when you look at it. But still, it's deboned turkey, turkey meal, chicken meal, peas, dry ground potatoes, and then some lentils. And then after that, they get into a bunch of other things like.
But you got your first, what was that? 5 ingredients that are quality stuff. So that is the bulk of the food here, then, isn't it? It's got to be at least 50%, probably a lot more than that. Yeah. If they reach 10%, they'd come up with 5.
Yeah. Although you can do an incredibly long list of everything where nothing's more than 5% if you want.
True.
So
gotcha.
And to some extent, that the Origin one could be that way because they've got that incredibly long list of things.
Yes.
Probably nothing's much more than 5
Yes, that's interesting. So it's another way that you can play with this, isn't it? Just because it says it's number 1 on the list doesn't mean that it's basically 30 or 40% of that product at all.
Right.
So it's a bit weird, really.
All right, I've got one more that I'm just going to bring up, which is
so the wellness product. I mean, you've fed that forever. Of course, you're a seller of the product, manufacturer of the product, so you're kind of biased anyway. But you had great success with a dog that had problems.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, my own dog. I'm not sure I mentioned it maybe in the last video. When we got our dog, who was a rescue dog, and I was not working in the pet industry at the time, so we'd had her for a couple, maybe 3 years when I started and became CEO of Wellness Pet Food. She used to scratch and itch, and I just thought that was normal. Yeah. There we go. It's just having me around that makes him do that. Yeah, it's sitting next to him is bad enough. So anyway, when we created a wellness core diet, the itching went away almost overnight. It's fascinating.
That's great for the dog, isn't it?
We're at 10 minutes again.
Yes, okay. So I want to say one thing here. We sound like we're English, but we're not. We're both Americans, by the way, and we're here in Oklahoma and we're here in Florida. So I get people who say, well, we're in England. Are you guys? Our products and the things that we sell and those things are all here in Oklahoma. And we are nowadays, boy, you've been an American for a long time.
Yeah. And
I've been naturalized for about a year. So next video is going to be on the raw diet.
I don't know. Let's wait.
We'll find out.
Okay.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate people who subscribe to me. It helps me, encourage me to do more of these videos. But do remember, disclaimer here, I am not a vet. I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm purely a person who's been breeding dogs for the last couple of decades. Any information that you got from this video, use at your own risk. There's nothing implied here, and certainly this should not be used as a substitute for advice from your veterinarian or your medical professional. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Bye.